Hey y'all, it's Ebony. Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing okay today. Today's video is all about the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so let's get into it. And first and foremost, please excuse any noise that you may hear. I have the patio door cracked and also the fan going above y'all because it's a little warm in here, so please excuse that if you do hear it. But yeah, let's get into this video. Let's do a quick unboxing of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. In the box, of course, you will find the phone. You will also find a now braided USB-C cord, and you will find the Apple sticker and some instructions for setting up the phone. With my phone, I just had to transfer the cellular network between the two phones. There was no physical SIM card. But yeah, let's get into this unboxing, then we're gonna get into the real deal about the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Okay y'all, so here's my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I actually upgraded from the iPhone 12 Pro Max, so we're also going to get into those details and whether or not I think this upgrade was worth it. So I pre-ordered the iPhone 15 Pro Max on September 16th, and it didn't actually ship out until September 30th. And the reason why I'm putting it in quotes is because that's when the shipping label was created. I don't think it actually started moving through the system until October 2nd, I believe, and then it was delivered to me on October 3rd. So it didn't take very long for me to get it. I was a little bit impatient. I was even calling around to different phone carriers to see if I can pick one up in person. Aside from like the normal complaint that I hear with the iPhone, every year a new one is released, people complain and say,
well, it's the same phone as all the other phones.
Phone is just the same, only difference is the camera.
Aside from those normal complaints, I also heard people complain about like the battery life, these phones overheating, the fragility of the phones. I was seeing like different reviews, so it made me nervous. After I had already pre-ordered it, it made me nervous to receive it in person because in my mind I've already let these different reviews influence my decision on whether or not I was gonna like the phone. So far I've been using the phone for like 2.5 days, so I haven't had much experience with the phone, but so far I think the phone is working as normal as a normal phone would. I am pleased with the upgrade so far. So let's get into the battery life. Out of the box, the phone pretty much almost had like a close to full charge, and then I didn't end up charging it until late afternoon the next day. And at the time that I charged it, I did feel the phone get some heat to it when I was charging it, and I wasn't touching it in the time that I was charging it. I was using my iPad in that time, so I was trying to just leave it alone, leave it on the charger, let it sit. The phone did carry some heat to it when I picked it up. As far as like my use with the phone and different apps and whether or not those different apps contribute to like the phone overheating, I haven't experienced the phone overheating yet. Knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, but I do think with use it does get warm. I don't know if it's because of certain apps or not. I think it does get a little warm. My last phone, the 12 Pro Max, one of the reasons why I did want to upgrade is because I felt like the phone was getting a little laggy. I did experience like not overheating necessarily, but again like the phone getting warm, and those were things that kind of turned me off from the phone, and which kind of also influenced the reason why I upgraded. But I wouldn't say that this phone overheats necessarily. I do think it gets warm, like I said, especially with the charging. I'll continue to like monitor that over my use with the phone, but right now it's nothing that would cause like major concern for me. Another thing people were talking about was like the weight of the phones. Granted, this is a 12 Pro Max, and like I said, this one is the 15 Pro Max. People were saying how much lighter this phone is. I mean, I think it is lighter, but I don't know why from when people were talking about it, I was expecting it to be like super light compared to my old phone. I wouldn't say it's like shockingly lighter. It still has a nice feel in your hand, like, you know, you feel like you're holding something with weight. So I don't think it's that much of a like an obvious difference. But I mean, if you want to talk about the weight, that's my experience with it. It's not that drastic. Let's talk about the fragility. So I saw the video, you probably have seen the video at this point, of the guy, you know, doing the review, and he's literally able to like snap the iPhone 15 Pro Max and break the glass just with his hands. I'm not doing that with my phone. I don't know about y'all, I'm not doing that with my phone. Granted, he's doing those type of reviews because that is, you know, what consumers want to see. He's using the phone in that way to demonstrate, you know, the phone under a certain amount of pressure or whatever. I get that. I'm not doing that with my phone. And one thing about me, y'all, my phone, I always have a case on my phone. With my 12 Pro Max, I have so many cases for this phone. I am someone who loves phone cases. I just love getting a new case, making your phone feel new for a period of time. That's just who I am. I love a good phone case. You can see both of my phones have protective cases on them. I even have camera covers on them. This one is like a full cover of the cameras. This came with a pack of screen protectors that I ordered, and this one, they're individual covers over each of the camera lenses. I have screen protectors on both of them. I love a screen protector. I love a phone case. I love to keep my phone protected because I don't want any issues with my phone. So for me personally, that's not like a huge concern of mine. Like, yes, I am concerned because you know, every now and again I will drop my phone, obviously not on purpose, but accidentally I will drop my phone. And I don't want my phone to shatter when I accidentally drop it. My other phones haven't done that in the past. I don't want for this phone to do that, right? However, I know some people prefer not to have a case on their phone. I don't have as much of a concern in that area as someone who prefers not to have a phone case on their phone, because again, I actually do really enjoy phone cases. So that's my experience with that. So let's talk about some of the differences that I've experienced with these two phones. I will say the layouts are kind of different. Like when I go into certain apps, they look a little bit more boxy on this phone than they do with this phone. For example, my preferred map application is Google Maps, and when I was using Google Maps on the two different phones, the Google Maps search bar on the iPhone 15 Pro Max is a little more boxy, whereas the one on the 12 Pro Max is more rounded. That's not like a huge difference to me. I actually like the way that it looks on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I mean, I don't have an issue with that. I really love how the 15 Pro Max is very smooth when I'm scrolling between the screens or going in and out of apps. I feel like I don't get that lag as I would with the 12 Pro Max. I really do think that the screen quality on this phone is just like very, very nice compared to my 12 Pro Max. Not to say that the 12 Pro Max is bad, it's just that I can see the difference with these two models, just the way that the screen looks and things like that. On the 15 Pro Max, I don't know if this is specific to the 15 Pro Max or if it's just the new iOS, is it 17 update, this always on display. I am still kind of getting used to it. I know that you can turn it off. I just want to keep it on for this time, like while the phone is new. I don't know, right now it's not bothering me any. I think if I was to turn this off, that would, you know, enhance the battery life, but right now I don't really have an issue with the battery life. I feel like the phone holds a good charge, the battery stays full for a period of time. My 12 Pro Max, one of the things about it, it would die fast, but I think again because the phone was a couple years old, it's just with the normal wear of the battery, is just going to die faster as it gets older. But this always on display, I don't know, I'm getting used to it. And also, with that being said, the dynamic island up top, I like that, you know, when I'm listening to a podcast or when I'm on the phone, like it shows it up in that dynamic island. I think that's pretty cool. And I know like Android phones, they've already had this feature. I think that's cool. I think what I will say about it though, it gets in the way when I'm navigating certain apps. Like if I'm in TikTok, for example, I experienced it where there was like text at the top of one of the videos I was watching. It was right behind the dynamic island. So I think that is something that I'm gonna have to get used to, just having that be there on the screen, and then navigating the apps that I use on a daily basis. One of the big things that I wanted to talk about in this video in regards to the iPhone 15 Pro Max is the Bluetooth connectivity. Y'all, I don't know if it's just me, I don't know what it is, but I find that connecting my Bluetooth items to this phone has been more difficult than it's been for other phones in the past. So I have, you know, the Apple headphones. Shout out to my sister. I have the Apple headphones, right? And when I use them, yesterday I think I was using the AirPods, right? I was listening to a podcast and it started to like static a little bit. I feel like that's the best way that I can describe it. And I thought it was maybe just the episode of the podcast that I was just listening to, because maybe after like 30 seconds or so it came back and it was normal sounding. And then when I rewound it, the static didn't happen at all. So I thought that was a little strange. Then when I got in the car today and connected it via Bluetooth to the car, I had that same static experience, and I knew it wasn't the song that I was listening to. Also, it took a minute for the car to actually play the music. Like on the screen, it looked like the car was playing the music, but then like I'm turning the volume up, no sound is coming out. And then like I had to like literally, I had to physically open the phone, and then that's when the volume started. So I don't know if that's just a bug that needs to be worked out, or if maybe it's because I still have my old phone and like it's kind of like reading the Bluetooth via this phone. I thought that was strange. And last, my Apple Watch, when I transferred all the data from my old phone to my new phone, the Apple Watch was one of the things that transferred. And I was listening to, again, a podcast yesterday, and I was wondering why the Now plan wasn't showing up on my Apple Watch. I thought that was strange. So I go into the Watch app on this phone, and when I opened the app, it said that I needed to pair the watch to this phone. However, my messages still were showing up on the Apple Watch. I'm trying different things to connect the, you know, pair the Apple Watch. I go into this phone thinking that maybe the Apple Watch is still paired to this phone. This phone had no watch paired to it, so I was really confused. The watch is not paired to this phone. The watch won't pair to this phone. What is going on? I had to reset the watch in order to pair it to this phone. So I don't know what's going on with the Bluetooth connectivity, if that's just me, user error, but I don't know what's going on. Even on my iPad, normally when I would put do not disturb on this phone, it goes to my iPad. I put do not disturb on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. My iPad still dings when I get messages. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So maybe I'll do some, you know, troubleshooting on my end to see why the Bluetooth is just not connecting properly to this phone. But that's really been an issue that I've had with this phone. And I would say that's my biggest issue that I've had with this phone at this point is the Bluetooth connectivity. So let me know if that's just me or if you all have been experiencing similar issues with Bluetooth and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. As you all know, the phone now comes with the USB-C port. I don't have an issue with that. My iPad has a USB-C port. My headphones still have the lightning cable port, so I think that's the only real challenge, if you want to call it that. I don't have any issue with the charging and whatnot. Now let's get into some comparison of the cameras, because I know that's a big deal with iPhone, the cameras. So let's get into a comparison. So I went to the park today and I took some pictures of just the park. I took pictures on the 12 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max, and I'll post those pictures as we go over them. So I took some just pictures of trees, nature in general. I think that the 15 Pro Max definitely is a little bit more vivid. I just feel like the blues are more blue, the sky looks more like sky-like. I think that the 15 Pro Max is super realistic. I took a picture of my coffee because why not? And I feel like both of these pictures at the time that I took them was set at the 1x zoom. I feel like I really like the image on the 12 Pro Max. Actually, I really do like it. I think the image on the 15 Pro Max, again, I think the colors just look more like lifelike and vivid. I really like the blur of the background on both images. I really don't have an issue with either of these pictures. I think either camera looks nice, would work. I again think that the colors look more lifelike on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I feel like the shadows are more shadowy. I feel like they're deeper, whereas the 12 Pro Max, it looks to be like a little brighter. It looks to be a little lighter. I don't want to say washed out, but that's the vibe that I'm getting just when I'm comparing the two. I feel like the whites are a little bit more blown out on the 12 Pro Max versus the 15 Pro Max. And again, when I pan this video, again, I feel like the 15 Pro Max is just more lifelike compared to the 12 Pro Max. And then I also wanted to demonstrate the 5x zoom on these devices. On the 12 Pro Max, I can only go up to 2.5x zoom. 15 Pro Max, I was able to go up to 5x zoom. So I really like those images. Then I just took some pictures of myself, some little selfies in the park. I did some front facing selfies and some with the back camera. The first ones I'm going to show y'all are the front facing 15 Pro Max. I feel like the 15 Pro Max definitely captures a more realistic image versus the 12 Pro Max. The 12 Pro Max looks a little like foggy and muted. The tones are a little bit more muted. I feel like it's a little bit more I don't want to say ashy, but I want to say ashy. Whereas the 15 Pro Max is like really vibrant, and it's almost like, ooh, I don't want you to see me in that type of quality, but like it's more high def. It's more just like, I feel very vibrant compared to the 12 Pro Max. And then yeah, I took some more pictures. I just feel like the 15 Pro Max, like the even the hair is like darker compared to the 12 Pro Max. It's like you can really see the vibrancy of the colors on the 15 Pro Max. So yeah, so far y'all, I feel like the 15 Pro Max beats the 12 Pro Max in the camera quality, and that's to be expected. It's a newer phone, more up to date and current. I'm really looking forward to, you know, using this more and seeing just how much I like it. I'm excited for like the higher storage. This is the 256 gigabyte, this is the 128 gigabyte, so I'm definitely excited for the higher storage and really like taking my content to the next level. I feel like if you have the 12 Pro Max, upgrading to the 15 Pro Max is a good upgrade. I even feel like you can upgrade to the 14 Pro Max if you have the 12 Pro Max. It's your prerogative, but I am personally satisfied with this upgrade. So let me know if you are gonna upgrade. If after watching this video you still need to do a little bit more research, trust me, I get it y'all. You need to know if you're making the right decision when it comes to upgrading these phones. These phones are very expensive. You need to make an informed decision. I get it, and I hope that I'm helping you, guide you through that process. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please do like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and until next time, peace.